the importance of long-term winning during the television revolution. See, the companies that were expected to win long-term weren't necessarily the companies who manufactured the televisions. They were in fact the companies who used the medium to deliver information and entertainment. So how does that profound prognosis relate to you guys as speakers in 2019, soon to be 2020? Well, I truly believe that we are living through one of the greatest eras of our time, where information is so easily accessible and is consumed at a much higher and faster rate due to the internet and our mobile devices. Yes? Can we agree? Yeah. So I want you guys to picture right now in your minds billions of people all around the world using the internet. See, there are people in every single industry that use the internet every single day searching for information. Yes? So it is your job as an influencer to be in the forefront of their minds, giving them the information that they're searching for. And you're able to do that by doing one thing: acquiring attention. See, Gary Vaynerchuk, he said it best. He said, attention is the new currency. So in other words, your customers or your target audience, they will give you your attention for your content. But the supply and demand will be predicated on how great your content is. Because let's face it, great content is the only type of content that gets attention. Okay? So during my power talk today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys, as you guys can see on your notes, my EEEI principles to creating great content that will help you guys bring brand awareness and grow your speaker brand through content creation. Can I do that for you guys? Yeah. Okay, so let's go over, well, what is great content, Dupe? Well, I came up with a simple acronym for the word great. And great content gets attention, okay? It resolves an issue. It's entertaining and engaging. It's actionable, and it's timeless. And so when you're starting to create great content, before you can do that, I want you to apply this simple formula. Okay, so listen up. Educational content. Repeat after me. Educational content.
Educational content.
Plus entertaining content.
Plus entertaining content.
Plus engaging content.
Plus engaging content.
Plus inspirational content.
Plus inspirational content.
Gives you great content.
Gives you great content.
Now I know you guys are thinking, well, what? I have to apply all of those? I get it. I was once there. It's difficult, but let me tell you, it is doable. I'm going to show you how, okay? So the first step is this: educational content. Raise your hand if you provide educational content for your audience. Awesome. All right, so educational content is content that provides a solution to a problem. But before you can provide a solution, what do you have to do? Or no? What's the problem, right? So the first thing you want to ask yourself is, well, what are my target audience's biggest pain points? Write that down. What are my target audience's biggest pain points? Now, once you're able to understand that, the next question that you're going to ask yourself is, well, how can I help them solve it? You guys get how that works? Okay. So I want to go over a process. When you're starting to create educational content, there's a process that you want to follow. The first thing is this. You want to come up with a topic. Now, it's important that your topic ties in to the pain point. How are you going to help them solve something in their life, in their career, or in their business? You guys catch that? Right. Okay. So once you have the topic, now you have to come up with, well, what content type am I going to create? Is it going to be video? Is it going to be audio? Maybe it's going to be a written post, long form, short form. Yes? Okay. After that, you're going to come up with a title. Now, here's the part that a lot of people skip. And it's one of the most important aspects. Because your title is clickbait. You get what I'm saying? If it's a catchy title, people are going to click on it, and then your engagement goes up. What happens if your title is not as catchy? Yeah, engagement's going to go down. So you want to make sure that you have a catchy title. The next is you want to show them a step-by-step process. How are they going to do something? And I came up with an analogy, you guys, so bear with me, okay? I want you guys to picture a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, all right? So you have your first slice of bread, yes? Okay, we're going to call this point A. This is a desired goal. This is where you want your audience to be. However, they're in point B. This is the peanut butter and jelly. They're stuck. So it is your job to come up with a solution, which is the final slice of bread. What happens if you guys kind of smush a peanut butter and jelly sandwich together? What happens to the middle? It kind of slides through the sides, right? That's what you want to happen. you're closing the gap. So you're getting rid of their reality and you're moving them closer to the desired goal. And the last part in that cycle is credibility. Why should people listen to you? A lot of people put stuff online, but they're not a credible source. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of just gibberish on there. So you want to tell people why they should listen to you. And a lot of times you see this when people go live on a master class or live streaming, right? They spend time going over their spiel for a reason. Who are they, right? How many years experience do they have? Because they're trying to gain your attention and say, listen, I'm a credible source and I know what I'm talking about, okay? So that's our first principle, okay? Our second principle is entertaining content. And entertaining content grabs your audience's attention. Raise your hand if you follow any comedians on social media. Okay, so I have my favorite. I'm probably not going to tell you guys who they are. I don't want you guys to judge me. But I definitely follow comedians, but I follow them just as often as my favorite speakers and pastors. Because of one thing, entertaining content, it kind of evokes emotion. And when you're able to evoke emotion, it becomes the most memorable thing for people, okay? So whether you can make them laugh, whether you can make them cry, shocked, right? It evokes emotion. Maya Angelou said it best. She said, people will always forget what you said, people will always forget what you did, but people will never forget the way you make them feel. So it is our job to evoke emotion out of our audience. What are our audience's biggest fears? What inspires them? What motivates them? What drives them? Create your content around that. And one of the best ways to do that is to tell a great story, right? Because we can sit here all day and tell you guys what to do. You're probably going to forget a lot of the content. But if I tell a great story, raise your hand if you're probably going to remember that. Yeah, you're going to remember a great story, okay? So our third principle moving on is engaging content. Now, engaging content is content that's relatable to your audience. Once they see it, they're like, oh, that's all me. Every time I see people tuning into my videos, they're like, I needed that, Dupé. I needed that video, right? Guess what happens when someone's engaged with your content? They come back for more, okay? Now, this translates into likes, into shares, into shout-outs, but more importantly, as speakers, what we want is going to translate into bookings, because that's what we want, yes? So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself and how I became a motivational speaker. In January 2020, it will actually be my 2-year anniversary, okay? Started speaking just last year. Thank you, I appreciate it. And it all happened after me undergoing a traumatic experience for myself. I had a second emergency surgery, been dealing with some medical issues over the last 10 years. And I found myself at a motivational speaking conference 10 days post-op, which my doctors were like, you're insane. But I needed to go to this conference. And I remember sitting in the seat watching Inky Johnson. How many of you guys know who Inky Johnson is, okay? And I remember thinking, wow, he's powerful. I can do that. Haven't you guys ever said that? Like, I can do that. It's not to diminish what that person is doing. It's to say that you are playing small. What am I doing? So I made a promise to myself that next year, I'm going to be on stage. I didn't know how. I was scared out of my mind, but I said, I'm going to do it. So I went home, I wrote my first keynote, I created my speaker website, I made my video reel. A couple months later, someone reached out to me asking me to be the keynote speaker at her event. Now I had to ask her, I was like, well, how did you find me? She said, Dupé, I've been following you for years on Periscope. I saw you go over to Instagram, I started following you there, and I told myself, if I have another conference, you're going to be my keynote speaker. And from that point on, I was asked to keynote speak. I moderated events. I sat on panels with some of the world's top influencers in their field. I have hosted red carpets. I've even interviewed celebrities like Randy Jackson from American Idol, Mario Lopez, right? John Shin from the Think and Grow Rich Legacy Tour. A ton of people, all due to one thing. And I told you guys, acquiring attention through content creation. See, here's the thing. A lot of people that book me, and I want you guys to understand that, I've never seen them interact with my posts on social media. They never like, share, comment. The majority of the people that book me, that's to show that people are always watching. This is why it's important that every time you post, that content has to be great. Can we agree? And this is what I'm teaching you guys today. I know I got 5 minutes. So going to our last principle is inspirational content. Inspirational content motivates people to take immediate action. Now, I know all of you, if you've ever taken action in your life before, it's because you got sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? And so when you're trying to get people to take action, show them what it will look like for them. They have to see that it's possible, yes? And one of the easiest way to do this is through social proof. You show them that you were able to do that for other people who have the same desires and goals and aspirations. And I remember someone just mentioned before me that once they're motivated to take action, you have to give them a call to action, okay? Because when people want to take action, you got to show them what they have to do next. Whether it's download a free ebook or subscribe to your next masterclass that you're going to host. A lot of times for me, and I'm guilty of this on my social media, a lot of times it's just share this video out. Pay it forward. If this inspired or motivated you, go ahead and share this out, okay? So I know all these principles is a lot, you guys. What's the first principle? See if you guys are paying attention. Educational content. What's the second principle? Entertaining content. The third one? Engaging. And the fourth one? Inspirational. I get it. It's a lot, right? But as Bill Gates once said, he said, people will always overestimate what will happen in the next 2 years and underestimate what will happen in the next 10 years. Don't let yourself get lulled into an action. Meaning just don't sit there and say, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard, I missed the boat. No, you haven't.